Just before dark, your backyard changes. At first, it feels peaceful. The sun is low, the grass is glowing, the trees are turning into shadows. But then you notice something that feels slightly wrong. The birds are not simply going home. A robin stands frozen in the lawn, stabbing its eyes into the grass like it has seconds left. Sparrows fire between bushes as if invisible lines are pulling them. A crow calls from far away, and another answers from a rooftop. Then a chickadee lands on a branch near you, completely still, staring into the darkness beneath the hedge. For a moment, the whole yard feels like it is holding its breath. Most people go inside before this begins. They never see the secret routine birds perform before night takes control. Because before the sun disappears, your backyard becomes a silent battlefield. You are standing at the window, or maybe sitting outside with the last warmth of the day fading from your skin. Nothing dramatic seems to be happening. No storm, no loud predator, no sudden attack. And yet, the birds know the day is ending. You notice their behavior has changed. The soft morning songs are gone. The cheerful movement around the feeder has become sharper, faster, more careful. Some birds vanish into leaves. Others appear for only a second, grab food, and disappear again. A few sit high in the trees, watching the yard like guards. This is the hour most people never study. In the morning, birds announce themselves. They sing, they feed openly, they fill the air with life. But before dark, they become secretive. They are no longer showing off. They are preparing. Every choice suddenly matters. Where to eat, where to hide, who to trust, which shadow to fear. You thought the day was ending. But for the birds, one of the most dangerous parts of the day has just begun. And the first clue is not what birds do, it is what they suddenly stop doing. The first thing you notice is the silence. Not complete silence, but a strange kind of thinning. The bright songs that filled the yard earlier begin to disappear. A bird that sang from the fence all afternoon now gives only one short note from inside the bush. Another bird lands, looks around, and makes no sound at all. To you, it may feel peaceful. To a bird, this quiet can mean survival. During the day, singing has a purpose. Birds call to claim space, attract attention, and stay connected. But near dusk, sound can become dangerous. A loud call can tell a predator exactly where a small body is hiding before sleep. And night changes the rules. Owls begin to wake. Cats move more confidently. Raccoons, snakes, and other hunters gain power as vision fades. For a small bird, being heard at the wrong moment can be deadly. So the yard shifts from music to signals. Short chirps, quick contact notes, sudden pauses, tiny warnings pass through leaves. You may feel as if nothing is happening, but the birds are listening harder than before. They are measuring the air. They are judging every movement. The silence is not emptiness. It is alertness. But silence is only the first layer next. The birds begin to move like they are following a secret map. Then, almost suddenly, the quiet breaks into movement. A sparrow drops to the ground, grabs something, and shoots back into cover. A finch appears at the feeder for only a few seconds. A robin races across the lawn, stops, tilts its head, and strikes at the soil. Nothing looks relaxed anymore. This is the last feeding rush. Before darkness, many backyard birds try to take in as much energy as they safely can. Small birds live fast. Their bodies burn fuel quickly, and a long night can be hard, especially when the air turns cold. To you, a bird eating seeds at sunset may look calm. But inside that tiny body, everything is urgent. It must find food before the light disappears. It must eat enough to stay warm. It must avoid staying exposed too long. It must watch other birds, watch the bushes, watch the sky, and watch you. Every seed matters, every worm matters, every second matters. This is why evening feeding can look nervous. Birds may return to the same trusted spots, but they rarely relax there. They dart in, grab what they need, and leave before the shadows grow too deep. And once they have eaten enough, they do something even stranger. They begin testing the safety of the shadows. As the light fades, birds begin to vanish. You see one sparrow fly into a hedge and never come back out. A wren slips under tangled vines like it has entered a hidden door. A chickadee drops into thick leaves, then becomes invisible. The bush looks still, but you know something is inside it. This is not random hiding. Many birds are searching for a roost, a place to survive the night. They need shelter from wind, cold, rain, and predators. Dense shrubs, evergreen branches, tree holes, vines, reeds, and thick hedges can become tiny survival rooms. To you, a bush is just a bush. To a bird, it is a fortress. But not every hiding place is safe. A low branch might be easy for a cat to reach. A thin tree may leave the bird exposed to owls. An open fence might feel safe in daylight but become dangerous after dark. So birds inspect. They pause. They listen. Sometimes they enter one place, then leave again, as if something inside felt wrong. This is the strange part. The bird is not just escaping the day. It is choosing its night. But some birds refuse to sleep alone, and their gathering can look almost supernatural. Look up before dark, and you may see them gathering. Blackbirds on wires, sparrows filling a hedge, pigeons collecting on rooftops, crows moving across the sky in heavy, dark shapes, all heading toward the same place. Sometimes one tree slowly fills with silhouettes until it looks alive. It feels like a meeting. And, in a way, it is. Many birds gather before night because numbers change the odds. A single bird can miss danger. A group has more eyes, more ears, more warning signals. If a predator appears, one bird may see it first, and the whole group can react. There is safety in the crowd, but there is also information. Birds may follow others toward good feeding areas, safer roosts, or familiar resting places. They may not speak like humans, but their calls, movements, and timing carry meaning. One bird arrives, another follows. A sudden flutter moves through the branches. A warning note travels faster than your eyes can track. To you, it may look like noise, but the yard is becoming a network. Every bird is watching the others. Every movement can change the mood. Then, without warning, one bird gives a call that changes the entire mood of the evening. The sound is different. It is not a song. It is sharper, shorter, more urgent. A robin ticks from the fence. A blue jay screams from a tree. Chickadees release fast, nervous notes from the leaves. Suddenly, birds that were feeding freeze. Others dive into cover. A few turn their heads toward the same dark corner of the yard. Something has changed. This is the power of an alarm call. Birds use these calls to warn others about danger. The threat could be a cat under a parked car, a hawk waiting in a tree, an owl waking early, a snake near thick plants, or even you stepping too close at the wrong time. The most unsettling part is that many birds do not need to see the danger themselves. They hear the warning and trust it. Some species even understand the alarm calls of other species. A chickadee's panic can affect a sparrow. A jay's scream can alert robins. The backyard becomes a shared warning system. For a bird, reacting fast can mean life. Waiting too long can mean death. That one sharp call turns your peaceful yard into a map of fear. But the strangest part is that some birds are not just warning others, they are remembering exactly where danger lives. Now the mystery becomes deeper. Because birds are not only reacting to what is happening now, they are also carrying memories. The bird outside your window may remember where it found food yesterday. It may remember which hedge felt safe last week. It may remember where the neighbor's cat appeared. It may even remember your habits. You think it is randomly returning to the same branch, but that branch may be part of a private survival map. Birds learn from patterns. They learn which feeders are reliable, which yards are quiet, which dogs rush fences, which humans move gently, and which places feel dangerous after sunset. Some birds have powerful spatial memory, especially species that hide food or travel through complex territories. Before dark, memory becomes valuable. A bird does not have endless time to experiment. The light is fading. Predators are gaining advantage. One bad choice can expose it for the night. So the bird uses what it knows. It returns to trusted cover. It avoids suspicious corners. It watches familiar routes. It may even time its feeding around when your yard becomes still. That tiny creature is not decoration. It is carrying fear, hunger, experience, and memory. And once you realize they remember, their next behavior becomes even more unsettling. At some point, you realize something strange. You are not just watching the birds. They are watching you. You step onto the patio, and a bird freezes on the fence. You move toward the feeder, and 3 sparrows vanish into the hedge. You stand still for a moment, and slowly, one bird returns, then another. Then the yard begins breathing again. This is not meaningless fear. Birds are reading you. Before dark, they become more careful because sleep is coming. And sleep is vulnerability. A bird preparing for night cannot afford to ignore a large moving creature nearby. So it studies your direction, your speed, your distance, and your routine. To some birds, humans mean danger, noise, pets, sudden movement, broken branches, disturbance near roosting spots. To others, humans can become part of the pattern. You refill the feeder. You leave water. You go inside at the same time each evening. You may become a predictable shape in their world. But predictable does not always mean trusted. A bird may tolerate you, but it still measures you. That head tilt, that pause, that sudden escape, it is the mind of a wild animal making a decision. But the final choice birds make before dark may be the most important one of all. Then comes the final decision. The sun drops lower. The yard loses color. The feeder becomes still. The last birds make their final movements, and each one must choose where to spend the night. This choice can decide whether it survives until morning. A safe roost is not just a place to sit. It must hide the bird's shape. It must block wind. It must be high enough to avoid ground hunters, but not so exposed that an owl can see it easily. It must offer an escape route if something climbs, leaps, or strikes from the dark. A bird may shift from branch to branch before settling. It may move deeper into the hedge. It may join others, or keep distance. It may choose the same hidden place night after night, or abandon it if danger has touched it once. To you, it looks like one small flutter into a tree, but to the bird, it is a calculation. Warmth, cover, memory, predators, escape, silence. Then the movement stops. The backyard becomes still, but it is not empty. It is full of small lives holding their places in the dark. And when the yard finally goes quiet, the real mystery is what you now understand about the lives hiding around you. After sunset, your backyard looks ordinary again. The feeder hangs still. The grass fades into darkness. The bushes stop moving. The fence becomes a black line against the last light. To most people, the show is over. But now you know it was never empty. The birds did not simply disappear. They prepared. They listened. They warned each other. They searched for food with urgency. They tested shadows. They remembered danger. They watched you. And finally, they chose where to trust the night. That is what makes backyard birds so mysterious. They live beside us, but they do not live in the same world we see. Where you see a bush, they see shelter or death. Where you see a fence, they see a lookout. Where you hear one sharp call, they may hear a warning that saves lives. And maybe that is why this hidden evening ritual feels so powerful. It reminds you that intelligence does not always look loud. Sometimes it is a tiny bird going silent before dark. Sometimes it is a sparrow choosing one branch over another. Sometimes it is a chickadee staring into the shadows before you even know something is there. Tonight, watch your own backyard before dark. Notice who goes quiet first. Notice who feeds last. Notice who disappears into cover. And if you see something strange, write it in the comments. Because once you notice this hidden world, sunset will never feel ordinary again.